Hey, Gloria, Dr. Rouse is in the house, and it is a pleasure to be with the Is Xperia family.
Well, tonight's topic is pretty interesting. When you mentioned talking about one of the number one nutritions to eradicate cellulite, I said, well, there'll be a lot of people that will want to know about that. And, that's something that you really don't think about, and you wonder, how in the world can I get rid of it once it's there? People sometimes are self-conscious about it. They just figure, they're getting older, so they're just going to have to live with it or whatever. But it can happen to young people as well. But we definitely have some good information for people tonight if they want to get rid of the cellulite. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this call over to you.
All right, take it away, Charlie. When we talk about cellulite, the official medical problem is actually more female-oriented than it is male. Better than 90% of the actual cellulite physical cases belong to the female anatomy. It has a lot to do with testosterone for the men, but also, for some reason, the cell structures, the tensile strength, the fabric of the human male body is laid down a little bit different than the female. And what pretty much happens here when the skin starts pitting or bulging or some kind of deformation of the skin, that's the structure of the skin loses its flexibility and its strength, and the fat cell begins to protrude through the collagen that would normally form a matrix that would be tight. And when the fat pushes through, then it bulges. It gives that mattress phenomenon. So as we go to the first slide tonight, we'll answer the question, what is it and how does it happen? No doubt that cellulite happens when the supportive tissue, the matrix in the dermis, in the skin, becomes weaker. Anytime the skin cell structure becomes weaker, then we're prone to seeing the fat cells that's in this first tissue layer to migrate, to push forward. When the fat cell below the skin, topical skin area, starts to migrate, push up into the upper layer, then this connective tissue, like the wires on a mattress, like the things that are holding your mattress together, unfortunately they get less strength, and when that cell begins to weaken, the fat cells are going to swell, and certainly with swelling, everything breaks loose. Hence the pits and the ridges, and a lot of people have called cellulite the mattress phenomenon. And although in the human body there are 3 layers of fat under the skin, only the top layer of the skin is actually involved in the cellulite. And if you would imagine the skin on this top layer like a down quilt, and somebody sewing the quilt together, and the stitches in the quilt represent the columns of the collagen fibers. You've seen quilts where they sew them off in their squares or their octagon stitching areas there. And think of these stitches like the collagen fibers that give the skin its structure. And as you are building this down quilt, you start adding feathers into each of these compartments between the stitches. Well, that's analogous to how the fat globules just begin to accumulate between the skin's collagen columns. And as more and more and more fat globules are added, then these compartments, these little tiny areas, are going to be filled up. And when that happens, it causes the fat to bulge out from the compartments that results in that characteristic dimpled appearance that we call cellulite. And some people only dimple whenever you pinch the skin. And others will show dimpling even when they're standing, but not when they're lying down. And the third stage, the worst case of cellulite, what we call stage 3 dimplers, they show their cellulite even when they're standing, sitting, or lying down. And as we think about what it is that's going to get over this mattress phenomenon and this down quilt look, we would certainly need to answer one question: is there any food in particular that's beating me to death? It's causing the worst of it. And again, it goes back to wheat. The stuff that most people thought was wholesome and healthy, like whole wheat, no, not healthy at all. Any kind of wheat product, whether it's wheat in a cracker, wheat in a pasta, wheat in a bread, wheat in a whole wheat, wheat in a grain, wheat itself has been so molecularly misconfigured. The 14 chromosomes have been upgraded to 20 chromosomes, and now this alien little chemistry, amylopectin, gliadin, gluten that comes out of the wheat, it's beating you to death. It will cause insulin to stay in the blood a too long a period of time, and insulin is naturally, when it has to hang around too long, going to get tired, and when insulin gets tired, it becomes a fat storage hormone. And the first place it's going to try to fill up is the suitcase called cellulite. So obviously we got to eat the right foods, and a low-fat diet is good. More fruits, more vegetables, lots of good stuff, cheese, nuts, good glasses of wholesome unsweetened tea or water. Those things help. And because exercise is definitely going to improve your lymphatic flow, getting things out of the tight spots, adding exercise, some aerobic, some strength training, anything like that would do. Now, we're also finding that people would wonder, well, could I rub it? Should I massage it? Yes, because anytime you can stimulate the flow both of the blood and the lymph system, you're going to improve your chances of getting rid of this topical cellular fat. But let me give you a little clue. If you're going to massage or rub it, push with your strokes in the direction of your heart. So always push wherever the cellulite is. Don't rub back and forth. Always push it toward the direction of the heart. And that'll get the lymphatic tissues flowing faster. And the cellulite is usually, the cellulite actually is nothing more than the fat just getting all swollen up and discombobulated. So a diet high in fruits and vegetables, low in fats, and certainly no refined sugars, and watch out for the wheat products, will be very healthy in overcoming. As we go to the next slide, the dreaded cottage cheese that gets on the thighs can be so aggravating. And what is it that can help the legs to stay taut or dimple free? Well, think about this. Since cellulite includes trapped toxins and can be the result even of bad circulation, when the veins and the capillaries become congested and the circulation is poor, then and you add an accumulation of fat to the scenario, you got all this stuff flowing through the body. People have pesticide, herbicide, preservatives that would trap with toxins, poor circulation, accumulation of fat. And lo and behold, the next thing you know, the way to get it out and to get at it is via the fat mobilization process. And no doubt that most people have already noticed that, unfortunately, cellulite tends to get worse the older we are, because the tissue in the human body as we age becomes thicker, yet the skin itself becomes thinner. The inside is getting sarcoidosis is beginning to get too thick, and yet the tissue gets thicker, but the skin gets thinner. It's so easy to tear and rip and bruise. And also, one of the major factors as men start dimpling more, it's because they're losing muscle, as would be the case in the women also. So anytime muscle is replaced with fat tissue, that's going to be a negative. The brown adipose tissue has given way to the white, fluffy adipose tissue, and because that kind of adipose tissue, white adipose tissue, is fluffier, softer, it's much more prone to bulging. As we go to the next slide, the essence is we're going to get down to the way to recovery. And the way to recovery is rather simple. First of all, you got to get rid of the fat, and you got to replace it with lean muscle tissue. And yes, no doubt that strength training is a good thing, whether you're going to lift a little weight, get into some walking exercises, but stretching also. And so many people fail to note how important it is. So in the morning when you're showering, reach for the top of the ceiling and just reach out there and just stretch like you've never stretched before, and the lymphatic system will love you for that. So we're definitely talking about getting fat replaced with lean tissue by muscling up a little and stretching a lot and walking forth some, and then we go to the next slide, which gets us to the facts, to the matter of the fact. And there is one nutraceutical that is absolutely most outstanding for the cellulite reduction, to get the body to change the fat from white adipose fluffy fat to brown adipose lean muscular tissue. And that's in the family with grapeseed extract. The grapeseed extract is in our OPC Plus. Everybody knows it for its energy and its memory and its anti-aging qualities. But tonight, maybe this is a shocker to you. OPC Plus is by far one of the best ways to just scoop up a scoop a day, or 2 scoops a day would be totally sufficient. And this nutraceutical plan that we're talking about, it involves a network of synergistic herbs. We're talking about herbs like acai, herbs like grape skin called resveratrol, or grapeseed extract, or the bark of a pine called pycnogenol. Any of these particular herbs in this purple blend of powder, they're synergistic, and they will strengthen the connective tissue of the body. Anytime you strengthen the connective tissue of the skin, you're going to begin to push that mattress fat back down between the springs. And as the grapeseed extract begins to support the capillary beds, the blood vessels that run through the body's tissues and the fat deposits, there will literally be a decrease, a major decrease in the appearance of cellulite. And once the capillaries start getting fed, then the veins get fed. You see, OPC features a very powerful fat-fighting nutrient called grapeseed extract that will literally reduce the presence of cellulite. The OPC Plus that's in the Isixperia family provides a plethora of anti-dimpling botanicals that offer a very powerful active ingredient list. See, OPC is loaded, chock full of ORAC-valued, powerful antioxidants. And anytime that you can give the skin nutrition, specific nutrition that will help maintain the tone of the connective tissue as well as promote the circulation of this tissue area, then you're going to support. Everything's going to come back and support the body to eradicate cellulite. Support the vascular system, which is what OPC is all about. Anything that has to do with arteries, veins, or capillary blood vessels, anything that supports the vascular system is going to help the skin structure to stay taut, the skin to stay supple, the skin to look radiant, and even hereditary factors. See, unfortunately, they're finding that some people are more prone to cellulite than others because of hereditary factors. And guess what? OPC Plus provides the resveratrol, which in the clinical research is now showing to be able to turn on the sirtuin-2, the sirtuin-2 protein. Anytime sirtuin, number 2, protein is turned on, you're turning on good genetic genes and you're turning off bad ones. And so OPC Plus will help you to master the good genes and turn off the genetic disposition toward cellulite or the cellulite promoting factors. You see, OPC Plus maintains the tone of the connective tissue. OPC Plus promotes the circulation in which the vascular system is doing everything it can to support the skin to become taut and strong. And this also, by the way, when you've got a good circulation flowing, it's going to help remove excessive liquid retention, excessive toxins, excessive poisons, and that's going to just clear out the cellulite area. And as things get healthier, watch this, the healthier blood flow's going in, the bad fat's coming out, the toxins are being removed. As soon as the body senses that the body is now healthier, cleaner, it'll start building elastin. OPC Plus helps prevent the breakdown of elastin. Elastin is that elastic part of the skin that gives you flexibility and tensile strength. Elastin is a very important protein in your connective tissue, the things that bridge you together and hold you together. And even preventing the breakdown of hyaluronic acid that gives it strong tensile strength. OPC prevents the breakdown of elastin. OPC Plus prevents the breakdown of hyaluronic acid. And that means you're going to strengthen the connective tissue. Yeah, you can start surmising OPC would help with back. Yeah, wherever there's elastin or hyaluronic acid, like in your backbone, yes, it would be very beneficial in your knee cavity and your hip cavity and your elbow, all the places where you have tendons and ligaments and fiber and sinew hooked and glued to the bone. OPC Plus rebuilds, strengthens, massively strengthens elastin and connective tissue. And it can even prevent the breakdown of this stuff. That if it does break down, then the strength of the connective tissue is lost. So OPC is very unique because it's metabolic. And that means that as the fat metabolizes, see, OPC is a fat metabolism nutrition. It promotes the burn up of fat and gives you back dynamic, sustained energy. So OPC Plus is dynamic for better memory, better energy, and you'll gain it when you're burning off all the bad stuff. So who would have ever figured that this extraordinary, powerful nutrition, so rich and high in flavonoids, that's what makes OPC just stand out. Bioflavonoids, the fruit flavonoids, the vegetable flavonoids. The flavonoid content in our OPC Plus is so major that it protects the collagen of the body and will definitely alleviate cellulite. OPC to the rescue. And I do hope that you'll let OPC become a daily standard in your life to help your body to mobilize fat better. OPC helps your body to metabolize fat better. So while you've got the fat loss patch on and Forskolin is trying to open up the channels and get things ready, OPC becomes the big old pickup truck to carry it out of there and to make things happen. And when OPC comes to the rescue and starts mobilizing fats, you're going to see that your skin literally maintains the underlying structure, especially in the thighs of the legs. And whenever the lymphatic system starts draining off and moving out toxins and fats, and the overstuffed connective tissue starts releasing the fats and the toxins and the fluids, it's a neat thing to watch the collection of fluids be drained from the intracellular spaces of tissue. The cellulite, the dimple, the mattress disappears, and you can win the battle. So the question now becomes, did you hear it? What one nutrition can you win the battle of cellulite with? And the answer is OPC Plus. I'm amazed at all the good things we learn from one simple product.